G'day guys and gals. Okay, Night 3, challenge mode, attack and defense of Dublin Scouts and Dublin Heavy Defenders significantly increased. So they already have massive resistances, so on top of that now we've got heavy defense. So for the most part we can pretty much just whittle away the defenders. If you've got a decent high level group, I mean most of you by now will be bringing 6 stars, so you'll be sweet as, so you won't have to worry too much. But what we're going to do, 2 standard vanguards, courier and scavenger, that's fine because we need our deployment points. For you guys who don't have high level teams, I suggest bringing 2 healers. I suggest bringing Perfumer for her map-wide heal talent, and I suggest bringing a rather tanky medic, so I'm using Gavial. You don't have to, but it's just a suggestion because they will actually be soaking damage. Next up, we're going to use Pinecone with skill 1. So that's going to sort of counterbalance the extra defense on those standard enemies. Split shot sniper. A puller. You don't need a puller. I probably also suggest using skill 2 over skill 1. Just because I find that skill 2 a bit more reliably gets rid of some of the clutter. Most of the trash, sorry, all of the trash does get yanked in with rope skill 1, but because skill 2 actually hits 2 targets, when things get cluttered up, as I said, skill 2 tends to help a lot more. Armia with skill 2, you can use skill 3 if you want, you've just got to save it to the end. That's because I call skill 2 a pseudo AoE. It hits everything, which is helpful because I find that it does a lot more damage a lot more reliably than, say, a true arts AoE damage dealer. Now, the reason I'm not using anybody else, alternatively, you would hopefully be using, say, an AoE sniper, but you don't want to use Shirayuki, who's the 4-star, since I'm trying to stick with 4 stars. Obviously, save Armia, who everybody has. You've got Shirayuki, who deals arts damage, so Meteorite is your best option. But we're going to pretend that we don't have Meteorite, so we use an Armia skill 2, okay? Sure. Just a random guard, just to fill in at the end, just in case you've got like a lane that's just not coping, or is being a bit slow at the end. And one good defender, I like Cora basically for her +1 block. That's literally the only reason. Her survivability, everything else has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's that +1 block, that's it. And an AoE guard. That's it. Alright, let's get into this, guys and gals. If this helps you out, leave a sub, helps me out quite a bit. Now, deployment points in this whole chapter seem to be a little bit slower than usual, so what we're going to do, first Vanguard will get shot by this bastard for a little while. Second Vanguard in. Cycle those Vanguard skills if you're using Vanguards with skills. First up, let's pop in Vermeil to get rid of some of these guys. As you can see, he's not doing a lot of damage, nobody really cares about him. Let's get Pinecone in. He's just there to be annoying. Pop your puller in there. Skill to get rid of that guy. Now, if you find that your Vermeil is dying, you may need to reorganize, so pop in a healer before you pop in Pinecone. That's going to be the only, or even before rope. So, first healer goes in here. And that's to top up Vermeil. Now, this side is fairly healthy, you won't need to worry about this side, simply because nothing will be getting shot on this side until the very end. So next in Armia, here facing down. As you can see, Pinecone cares not for their extra defense. So let's pop in our last healer. Facing up. I'll wait until this wave sort of tidies itself up a little bit before I swap anybody out. Okay, Korra in here. And because I can, let's swap Estelle just here, or your AoE guard. And between Estelle and Pinecone, these guys with their extra defense is going to be a laughable thing. If you're ever super worried, just smash that skill, which ignores even more of their damage, and they just melt. Nice and simple. So I'll fast forward this, because we're just sort of waiting until the end. So here comes our first shielded enemy. So these guys are rude. There's really no other word to describe what those fellas are. Because they've got that refraction skill, which is going to just mitigate nearly everything of what Armia throws at it initially. So what we're going to do is knock those guys, because I don't want to see them. The male skill when the puppers come in, and rope skill as well. Yank. That gets rid of one of the dogs outright. The male will sort out the second dog outright. So we're all happy there. Here comes the second shielded enemy, and we're going to sort of do the same thing with that. We're going to wait for the male to hopefully kill that one. I'll use Korra's skill there because we've got more dogs coming out. And we've got another shielded enemy. Rope skill. Rope will hopefully yank a dog. She killed a dog, but that's just as good. Pinecone to sort these guys out down the bottom, so now they're going to come in lots of 3. Now, Pinecone's going to melt these guys anyway, but we're going to use a stealth skill. So Pinecone just melts them. So now we're pretty much at the end. So I'll use rope to get rid of the last dog. Rope comes out. Moose comes in. Whoop. Moose comes in. The male skill. There goes that enemy. So we're pretty much done. Moose out. And well, I can only melt as quick as Pinecone lets me. Take Armia out just because I want to speed this process up a little bit. And then just melt with Pinecone. Nice and simple. No stress, nice and simple. Hope it helps, guys.